In today's video, I'm gonna unbox and set up my Titanium Mig170 inverter welder from HarborFreight. Here's some of the key features of the Titanium Mig170 inverter welder. This thing is a MIG welder and a flux core welder. It has dual voltage capability, meaning that it can run off a 120 or 240. It has a heavy-duty all-metal drive system. It's spool gun ready for aluminum welding, and this thing only weighs 24 pounds. Let me get this MIG welder out of the box and we'll show you everything that comes inside. Here's what came in the box. I got the machine itself, I got the pigtail adapter, 240 to 120, came with the owner's manual, quick start guide, I've got the valve for the tank, the metal drive wheel, consumable tips including flux cord tip, I've got the torch lead, ground clamp, and gas hose. Today, I'm setting the welder up for MIG welding, which means I'll be using solid wire, not flux core wire. The wire that I'm using today is 30 thousandths of an inch solid MIG wire. I'm pairing that with the drive wheel that's stamped 30 thousandths with the V. That's going to be facing out on the machine. The two tips that came with this machine are also stamped with 30 thousandths of an inch. To set this machine up for gas shielded MIG welding, I need to connect the wire feed connector to the positive terminal on the front of the machine, and it just pops into place and turns. That's going to leave my ground connector to connect over here to the negative side. So we're going to connect that right to the negative terminal. Now I'm going to hook up the gun. I'm going to first connect the wire control cable, and then I'm going to plug in the speed control connector. Before I hook up the gas line, I'm going to power this thing up and spool the wire through the gun. Today we're going to be hooking up to 120 volts and I'm going to use the pigtail for that. To use this machine on 120 volts, I'm just going to select on the back of the machine the 120 volt setting instead of the 240 volt setting. Feeding the wire through the gun is a little tricky because this wire can come unspooled in there and make a big mess. So we want to make sure that we apply constant pressure to the wire. Before I can feed the wire through the gun, I need to take off the gas nozzle and the tip inside. Now the wire will come right through the gun. I'm going to guess on my tension before I start feeding. I don't want it too tight, but I also don't want it too loose. We can adjust this again when we're finished. Here's that tricky part I was talking about. You want to make sure you keep tension on this the whole time or it will unspool. And we want the wire to feed from the bottom, just like the diagram. We're just going to pull the trigger on the gun. Now the wire sticking out, we'll put on the tip, screw that in, put on the gas shielding nozzle. And while I'm here, I'll adjust my stick out. To use my welder, I'm going to be using this cart. I picked this one up for about 50 bucks at HarborFreight. These carts are pretty nice. They're going to secure the bottle with the chain, and they're really not that hard to put together. I put this thing together in about 15-20 minutes. I don't care for the fixed axle in the back, so I'm going to be putting on some swivel casters. I also got these at HarborFreight. Now that my bottle's secure, I'm going to hook up the gas. I'm going to be using C25. 25% CO2, 75% argon. That means this bottle is a high pressure bottle. Also meaning this valve is going to screw right in. If I were using 100% CO2, I would need an adapter. Now I'll connect the gas hose to the machine. When I'm turning gas on, I like to turn it on slowly. I'm going to be adjusting my pressure to 25 CFM. That's going to be a good starting point for most of my welds. To protect my tank, I picked up this Easy View valve indicator. This thing turns red when the valve is on, and it turns yellow when the valve is off. That way, you don't lose all your gas. I'll leave an affiliate link for this little guy in the description down below. That's got everything set up on the welder. We've got the gas, all the controls are hooked up, and we've got it safely on a cart. Be sure to check out this video because I'm gonna test this thing out and I'll do various kinds of welds. I am no professional, but we'll see what it can do. I'm glad you watched and I hope you'll watch again.